Well, unfortunately, this isn't Coast to Coast AM, but you can see the Workbench. You can see from the Workbench I've got other projects going on, and I don't know if there's any crossover between my channels, between the woodworking channel and the book channel. They're pretty different arenas, but as my wife loves to point out, all of my hobbies are tree hobbies. Books are made out of trees. Wood is made out of trees, and the part of my life that I don't put on YouTube, one of the many parts, is that I'm a gardener and I like to grow little trees. So all of my hobbies are tree hobbies. But yeah, I'm in this funny position right now. I don't want to back-to-back Bookhaul video drop you. I don't want to. It's not my intention to drop Bookhaul videos back to back, but I have quite a pile that I need to sort through to get them out of the garage so that I can finish tuning these marimba keys. And it's a dusty, crazy process. So I gotta get sorted. I gotta get those sorted. I've got I actually do have a book review video that should be out in the next week or two. I'm going to be reviewing Black Star Rising by Frederick Pohl, and I'm very excited to review this book. It is actually set in the town that I grew up in, so that's exciting. I'm excited by that. That excites me. It's exciting. So we're gonna go through this pile of books. These marimba keys there's a pile of them here. I don't know if you can tell, the stack is very tall. There are many marimba keys. It's not just this one layer. And all of these have to be tuned. So anyway, we're gonna just sort of work on top of them here. And if you're curious enough about how things go with the marimba, hopefully in a few weeks I'll have that marimba video ready, which oddly enough has been a nearly summer-long project. I'm making 5 of these things for my kids' school, so there's been a lot to do. So if you are a member of the other channel, I'm rambling now, but if you are a member of the other channel, I'm definitely not neglecting you. I've just been busy. So, on to the books. Okay, so this haul represents 2 or 3 outings. I went to a Friends of the Library store that's a couple of towns away from me, and I had heard rumor about this store, but had never actually been in there. And you imagine thrift store pricing, but set up like a library. And of course it's run by a bunch of ex-librarians, so it's not surprising. I found some really stellar things in that run, and I'm probably going to save that run for last, but there are some pretty incredible gems before we get to that as well. So one of the things that... Oh shit, hang on. I'm going to fix this right now. So one of the things that I love to find are history, anthropology, and New Age. Anytime you find a pyramid book, that's got the best of all of it. So this is Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids by Peter Tompkins, and it's just great. Look at that. That's beautiful. This is a beautiful book. It's got some really interesting information in it. I did thumb through it with my son earlier, and we were gawking at it. When was this published? 76. It's cool. I don't know if I'm going to put this in the keep pile or the sell pile, but it's... Yeah, I may have to hang on to it for a little while. Give it a good once over, twice over. This is a science fiction short story anthology put together by David G. Hartwell, and I've come across a lot of these Hartwell anthologies, and there's usually some pretty great stuff in these. I mean, not always, but this one is pretty stacked. There's some Silverberg, there's some Herbert, there's some Vance. He put in some mixed in or some classics. I tend to pick them up when I see them. Also found this anthology. This is the Science Fiction Hall of Fame, edited by Ben Bova, and yeah, it's got what you expect in it. This is the book club edition. Anderson, Campbell Jr., Lester Del Rey, Robert Heinlein, Kornbluth, Kuttner, Eric Frank, Russell, Cordwainer Smith, Theodore Sturgeon, H.G. Wells, Jack Williamson. This is very nice. I found a copy of I Sing the Body Electric and a copy of 3001. Not that exciting, but I really enjoyed this book. I remember waiting, I think I have to go back and look at the date of the original publication, but I'm guessing 12, 13, something like that, maybe 13, 14, when they announced that this was going to be released, and that was before we had our internets in the house. So, sat around for months just wondering, and I would go back and forth to the library to see if they had any information, and the librarians were always very helpful, and they knew my excitement, and they were only going to get one copy in, and I was so afraid that somebody else from a little hick town was going to get down there and request it before I got to it, and the lady finally assured me that I was definitely at the top of the list. So when the book came in, went down there and checked it out, and I think it was only a matter of weeks later it ended up in the bookstores, and I got my own copy, but I had fully read it by then, and yeah, anyway. So those were the days. Also found a paperback copy of I Will Fear No Evil. This one always sells because it has tatas on the front. So. Okay. That's most of the Wheel of Time. Dang it, that one got crunched going in the box. Damn it. So that's book 9. We got book 8. I did not pay the price on the sticker. I got book 14. Book 7, Book 5, Book 1, Book 13, Book 12, Book 10, and Book 6. I guess I could have put that in order for you and then I would know exactly which ones I have, but that's how they came out of the box. So, I don't know why anyone would just take all of these and give them to the thrift store, but that's what they did, and they are mine now, and I'm going to sell all of them. So, yippity-doo-dah. And mind you, the what we've been looking at so far, this was a thrift store run that I wasn't going to make last Saturday, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll just go see what they have. And I'm so glad they did, because I found the next few things there as well. I found a copy of The Best of Cordwainer Smith. And I'm so happy because I have a copy of this already. And I can sell this one to somebody who wants it. And, which gives me deep pleasure. Especially with Smith. It's this is a great book. There's some really great stories in here. So. And I found this, which I'm always excited to find. I have a copy, so that's great. This is the book club edition. We all know what this book is. It's a fantastic book. And it will be going on the eBay page soon. So if that's something that you follow, keep an eye out for it. It could be yours. Handful of paperbacks real quick. So we've got Lem Rochos, I believe I'm saying that incorrectly, by Joe Clayton. This has a very interesting cover. And then, let's see, I found an Andre Norton, which I don't ever pick up, but this one looked fun. It's too fun to leave there. Lord of the Thunder, pardon me. Lord of the Thunder. Found Midworld by Alan Dean Foster, this is a really fun edition. There's a lot of Alan Dean Foster out there. He's an interesting fella to me. He's sort of enigmatic in his ability to just churn out the English word. He's made a good living at it. Bless him. John Jakes, The Planet of the Wizard. This one was also too fun to leave behind. And these Gore books, they sell very well. This is Explorers of Gore. And then Poul Anderson, The Earth Book of Stormgate. And another Alan Dean Foster, Bloody Hype. They did such great covers for him in the 70s. And then I did find In the Maze by Robert Silverberg in really great condition with a red text block. I mean, it's in perfect condition. These days I'm really only picking up the paperbacks that are in absolute pristine condition and vintage. I gotta leave the rest on the shelf. I can't save them all. A couple of fun ones. I found a first edition of The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. This is Ex Libre. It was a library copy, which turns some people off. It's never bothered me because it's had this Mylar cover on it all these years. You know that the dust jacket is in great condition. Of course, you do have all this bullshit, but you know, a lot of people feel differently. But I just feel like whatever's inside of a book is just part of its own personal history, and I'm not offended by it. But you know, I understand if you're a buyer, you're only looking for certain things, and that's fine. I'm not knocking that. I also found something I had never heard of before. This is Last Chance to See. This is by Douglas Adams and Mark Cowardin. I have no idea what this is about. I have never seen this before. I know nothing. Really love Douglas Adams, but this is strange. Here, let's take a look. In the Hitchhiker's trilogy and the best-selling Dirk Gently novels, Douglas Adams has taken millions of fans on excursions through time and space. Last Chance to See continues this trip, but this time in place is Earth. The date is today, and every word is true. This is a zoological tale. Probably about the end of species. Nice. Found this really rad book about Georgia O'Keeffe. And I love Georgia O'Keeffe, so I grabbed this book. And then I found a first edition of Forward Foundation, which is cool. And I was super excited about this. I've mentioned this in other videos. When you find Robert Anton Wilson in the wild, it's an exciting day. But when you find 2 Robert Anton Wilson books, that's just rad. That's just incredible. Like, who the fuck does that? Who finds 2 Robert Anton Wilson books in one day? I guess I do. So that's exciting. Both of these are mine. I'm not letting go of either of those. And then I grabbed a Carl Jung book on the nature of the psyche, and one by Max Tegmark called Our Mathematical Universe. So I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. Also found this older edition of The War of the Worlds. I think this is probably 70s. Let's see, maybe 80s. 76. Really fun cover though. Very of the H.G. Wells covers. There's so many. Who is this? This is Anchor Classic. There's so many of these little shit publishers that got a hold of the rights to some of these classics that there's just all these weird editions out there. It's fun though. And I found this one today, actually, before we get on to the really awesome box that I have over here. A box that I think is pretty awesome. Found this may be the dirtiest book I've ever found, and I don't mean that in terms of subject matter. I'm talking about like the book is actually just absolutely fucking filthy. And I already feel like I need to wash my hands. There's a Mylar cover. It's ex-library, so all of that can be dealt with. There's dust and hair on the top. But it is The Rest of the Robots by Isaac Asimov. Oh my god. This book will get a lot of attention before it gets posted, because I am absolutely terrified. But it was too cool to walk away from. And we're gonna get a publication date somewhere. Do you see it? I don't see a publication date. Maybe there's a page stuck together. There's a page stuck together. 64. So this is a collection of robot stories up to 64. Yeah. Ugh. Alright. Dirty book. Dynamo. Awesome. I have Dying Inside by Robert Silverberg. Pretty exciting. I also found Lord Valentine's Castle and an H.G. Wells First Men in the Moon, I should say, and Food of the Gods, H.G. Wells. Very excited about those. Oh, and this is actually, I found a paperback version. This is the book that I'll be reviewing, Black Star Rising. When a mysterious alien spacecraft approaches Earth and demands to speak with the President of the United States, then destroys a large Pacific island to demonstrate its strength and underscore its seriousness, you would expect the President to talk. The problem is, in the late 21st century, there is no President, not even a United States. In fact, this is the world of the future. China rules the Americas, and to most people, USA and USSR are just quaint abbreviations in historical dictionaries. So there's a little bit more to the back, but I'm not gonna spoil the pre-spoilers. So anyway, there's a review of this coming up. I'm very excited. It's good so far. And then this will make let's see. This will make a friend on the Bookpilled Discord very happy. a nice fella named Zanoka, I believe that's how you pronounce his handle, was looking for these books, and I told him that I might have them, and here they are, and I am going to send them to him at no charge because he is a really nice fella. I also found a classic copy of Misery, which I don't usually pick up horror, but you know. And I found a copy of Neuromancer. And another copy of Neuromancer. Picked up a bunch of Sentinel books. I'm not really into these, but there are people that are really into them and they like to buy them. So when I find them in good condition, I grab them. Also found a Pebble in the Sky by Isaac Asimov. The Gods Themselves by Asimov. And a copy of The Neanderthal Planet by Brian Aldiss. So, pretty frickin' stellar so far, and that's just the paperbacks. Starting the hardbacks, we have a copy of A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. I think this is technically YA. I'm not totally sure. I also found a Doorways in the Sand by Zelazny. Very freaking cool cover. And a copy of The Complete Science Fiction Treasury of H.G. Wells. This is a very cool print. This is probably 80s or 90s, I'm guessing. I don't see it upside down here. Anyway, so that's rad. That's fun. Then I also found a copy of Cities in Flight by James Blish, and this is the whole thing. This has got all of them in it. They Shall Have Stars, Life of the Stars, Earthmen Come Home, The Triumph of Time. I was really excited because I found a copy of this in another used bookstore a few weeks ago. I didn't put it in a video. I just scooped it up and took it home and called it mine. And it was so rad when you find a book and then 7 days later you find the same one again. Anyway, this one will be for sale. Let's see, we've got a copy of Nonstop by Brian Aldiss. And a copy of Cryptozoic by Brian Aldiss. Told you this is just an insane place. And then a book club edition of The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. Cool beans. William Gibson Virtual Light. And then this one was really exciting. The Stone That Never Came Down by John Brunner. Love me some Brunner. Also found a copy of Stand on Zanzibar with a dust jacket. Believe this is a first edition. It's ex-library. This thing is in rough shape. But, man, such a good frickin' book. Alright. Then I found a copy, a old trade paperback of Foundation and Earth. I found Angry Candy by Harlan Ellison. A Thunder of Neptune by Gordon Eklund. Four Frontiers by Robert Heinlein. And Off the Main Sequence by Heinlein. I don't really give a shit about Heinlein, but they sell well. And I was really excited to find this because I love this book, and I reviewed this book on the channel, How to Live Safely in a Science Fictional Universe by Charles Yu. This is a hardback edition. I did not have a hardback edition. Very excited. I might not let that one go. And I found a Strugatsky book. Woot! Always so excited to find one of these. The Snail on the Slope. Oh, The Snail on the Slope. I have not read this. This is mine. No one can have it. This will be reviewed on the channel at some point. And I found a copy of Palm Sunday, which, if you have not read this, it's fantastic. It's mostly a collection of speeches and essays and meanderings. And then I don't know what this is. So this is Fire from the Wine Dark Sea by Somatov. I'm just gonna butcher the last name. So I saw this. I saw it on the shelf, and I said, "Man, that's got to be something." I have no reference for it whatsoever. I gave it a quick look for just sales on eBay and was pretty blown away by what I found here. So I grabbed it. If you know anything about this book, let me know. This may be something I want to go ahead and read and keep. So if you know anything about it, if you've read it, just tell me. I'm going to do my own investigation, but I really don't want to mess it up because it's in perfect condition. This book, it's never been read. You can tell it's barely been opened, and if I open it, I'm going to put a crease right in there, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So tell me what you can about it, and we'll go from there. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I want to just say generally, I want to give a shout out to the nerds on the Bookpilled Discord. Now that is the Discord that belongs to another booktuber on the Booktubes, Bookpilled. But there's just some really fine people in that Discord, and they watch my channel to some extent, and I appreciate that. And I really enjoy talking to them. They're a nice community of nice people, and that is not something that you take lightly these days if you find one. If you find a nice community of nice people, you hang on to it and you treat it well. So anyway, to those of you from that Discord who watch these videos, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are loved and appreciated. So anyway, have a good weekend, have a good week.